Okay, this is a little demo of how the new item entry window will work. Um, Obviously, open up Grid Planes, and if you go to cards, there are two places that this window will be invoked at. Either one, when you create a new item on the item maintenance window, or when you enter a new item on the purchase receivings entry window. I'm going to demonstrate both of those. So if I go to new item entry and I type in my new item, test, we notice two things. First of all, it opened up this new window called add items, and it blanked out the word test here. So basically what it's doing is it's saying, okay, we don't want to create our data here, we want to create it here. This will be using the business logic that we've developed for Kingsway Charities, which we can always add on to. This does not mean that's the end all, but we'll just type here, this is my test item. The class ID, I pick the class I want. Let's say this is for dental. Price level, this is going to be a donated property. Vendor, and I'm just going to pick AmerisourceBergen. Its cost, all right, let's say cost per unit is 50 cents. It's going to be resourced. I've defaulted that to true because Wade says it's almost always true. You can choose either donated or purchased. If you choose purchased, you can enter a list price. If you choose donated, which it's going to default to donated, has nothing to do with what you choose here. But if you choose donated, this is grayed out. Your price source, you choose it. In this case, let's say we choose HSCFA. And the shipping weight. And the manufacturer. Okay, there is, let's say that this is not applicable. And Wade had asked me, well, where's the NA for when we don't have NA? I can show you that real easy. We're going to add that by going to Transactions, Kingsway Customizations, Manufacturer Maintenance, and we'll just create one called Not Applicable. And save it. Now let's go back to our Add Items window. Of course, we're not going to see it in here unless we refresh the window. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel and start again. Test. Drag this over here just so you can see what's happening. This is my test item. Pick a class. I hit Control L there, or I could just hit the looking button. And let's make this an antibiotic. Price level is going to be donate. Vendor, I'm choosing this guy again. Its cost is $3.43. Resource, donated. Price source, HCFA. Shipping weight is 50 ounces. I think it's 50 ounces, like that. And it's going to be not applicable. It should be right there. And I've even given you the ability to put notes for an item right here, just in case you want it. Make sure everything's correct, because once you do it, you have to go through the long, arduous process of deleting everything from every window, or you can just hit delete on the item. When you hit save, it will attempt to create the transaction or the item. Click roll down. It'll close the window, and notice that test is populated right back where you were before. Hit tab, and now you see that your item is in here. This is my test item. It defaults in all this information for you automatically based on what we developed as our rules. Again, those rules can be changed. Here's your shipping weight. If we had indicated it was purchased and indicated a list price, we'd have a list price here. Class ID. Because we chose the class ID, most of our options are automatically pre-selected, indicating lot numbers and keeping history. If you had accounts on your class, your accounts would be there as well, but you guys don't really use accounts. If we go to our price list, we see that the donate price list is automatically entered for us, and the indication was that this should be $0. Even if you have a list price indicated, this will still be $0 unless you guys tell me you change the rule. Going up here, quantities and sites, we automatically created the warehouse site for you. don't know if there needed to be any other places, but I think we decided warehouse was the one that we would use. Save that. Notice that the primary vendor automatically came in here as well. So let's save that. Go into vendors. If I notice that your first vendor is automatically there from the air source, and I just kind of put in the most generic information I could find. Here's your last invoice price from the vendor. That automatically transferred over as well. If you go to additional, right now you're going to see price source in here twice. One is for extender. I'll put that right there. And the other one is the new price source, which does not utilize extender. These are using Great Plains or tables, dexterity tables. Notice they look pretty much the same, but the data is automatically populated from an add items window for us, so we don't even have to do anything. The print button is not really, don't have a report for you yet. I don't think I have reports anywhere. Oh, look, I put one here. I wonder what that shows. Oh, cool. Yeah, how about that? Oh, that's items under me. That's not mine. Never mind. Okay, so I will phase this out. That's going to take a little bit of discussion, and I'm going to write up an email here shortly about doing the deployment and the timing of that. But once we deploy this, we really only want to see the new, we call it IBS, not irritable bowel syndrome, but for Inventec Business Solutions. The IBS window for maintaining our price source data. It's way more efficient, and we won't have all the conversion houses. Anyway, that's how you create an item. That was pretty easy. If I want to, I'm going to delete it right here. It's going to delete from all the tables. You don't have to remember to go delete from the price source. I've created a trigger that will automatically delete that as well, and we can see that by going over here, or actually, I want you guys to do it from transactions, Kingsway, vendor item maintenance. Our item number was test. There is no test item. And in fact, if we looked up in here, test, you see there's no test item in here. So that's automatically deleted for you as well now. Oops, I tried to create an item, didn't mean to. Now, the other place that you can do this from, it's from the receiving transaction entry window. So I'm just going to fake one out here. Let's use a mirror. And item here. I type in test. When I hit tab, same thing happens. It opens up the add items window. Now I've deleted test, and it blinked out over here. So we fill it in just like we did before. I'm going to do this one a little bit faster. Notice that it picked up the vendor ID from this window here, so that's automatically populated from your receiving transaction entry window. As for the cost, since we haven't created the item, you have to put this in first. If you don't, that's fine. Because you're doing the receiving, when you post the receiving, it will update that cost onto the item for you as well. But I put it here just in case. And let's choose not applicable. I just hit the N. Well, I accidentally hit M and then tab down to N. I hit save. The roll down's completed. It puts it back in here. Now, I couldn't whip any real magic in here. When you hit tab, it's going to say, do you want to replace the item? Just say yes. Okay, then you can do your quantity shipped. You see, notice how it picked up our unit cost because we did indicate a unit cost. Unfortunately, this is part of Great Plains. Until you indicate your first warehouse, it's not going to know how to do anything. But your item is created for you automatically. Now I'm going to delete this row, delete this item, go back to cards, inventory, item, test, delete the item. And here's another little tidbit for anybody who's ever had something show up in their list that they didn't like. You can right click on it and say remove from list, and it won't show up the next time. and close the window. And that is it. That's how you utilize the new features of the item entry window. If you have any questions, call John Durr, or you can call me, Greg Kowalski, at 214-296-9572, extension 103.